Now let's understand this very basic multiplication program here. Now here, as you can see that within the main function, we have done so many work. Like we have declared the variable 1, again we have declared the variable 2, variable 3. Now before going into the much detail of it, let us understand what is the variable first. So basically the variable is just a container that can hold a certain kind of value. So here for this variable 1, what kind of value that it can hold? It can hold the integer value. This integer can be a positive or negative non-fractional number. So by writing this integer variable 1, we are just declaring this variable. There are two steps. First we have to declare it, then we have to assign it. So in the declaration part, we are just declaring the variable and we are just creating that particular container. And in the assignment part, as you can see that we have assigned the value 5 to this variable 1. With this assignment part, we are filling that particular container with such value, which is the 5. The same thing for the other variables. Like here for variable 2, we have assigned this value 6, and here for variable 3, we have assigned this value 0. Now, how in the real-time memory this variable is allocating and assigning the value to it, let's understand it first. For this variable 1, we have just declared this variable here. So due to this declaration, the container has been created. Now, as you can see within the memory location, for this variable 1, from 1000 to 1003, this 4 block of memory has been allocated. Now why this 4 block of memory has been allocated? Because for 32-bit processor, the size of this data type or the size of this integer is 4 bytes. So that is the only reason when we have declared this variable 1, 4 bytes of memory has been allocated for variable 1. Now when we have assigned this value 5 to this variable 1, that value has occupied the allocated memory for variable 1. The same thing should go for variable 2 here. As you can see that the container has been created. When we have assigned the value 6, the value has occupied the memory that was allocated by the variable 2. Now that the variable 3 is holding the value 0 here, what is variable 1 holding here? The variable 1 is holding 5 and the variable 2 is holding 6. Now if we do the multiplication operation between this variable 1 and the variable 2, what is the result that we are going to get? 30. So the 30 is the value that we are assigning to the variable 3. Now the variable 3 was already holding the value 0 here. So what will happen here? The previous value will be updated by the newer value of 30. See, the previous value has been updated with the newer value of 30. That is the only reason we are calling this as variables. So whenever we are going to reassign a newer value to a variable, the old previous value will be updated with the newer one. Hence it is called the variable. Now here, as you can see that we have called a printf function. So what is the usage of printf function? To print something, right? And we want to print this variable 3 here. So to print the variable 3, we have written the result of the multiplication is. Now look very carefully here that we have written %d, comma, and then again the name of the variable. Now what this %d is actually doing here, this is the format specifier. This format specifier means that we are going to print this variable with this format specifier. That means this decimal integer format specifier, so that the printf function can easily understand with which format specifier you want to print this variable. So with the %d format specifier, we are just asking the compiler to print this variable 3 as decimal format. So what is the result and output that we are going to get? The output will be the result of the multiplication is 30. The result of the multiplication is, till now the character has been printed, but when the %d came, the value has been printed here by this variable 3. So the variable 3 is being printed at this place with the help of this %d. I think till this point it is quite clear to my students that how to print and how to use the variables.